Before I met Christ, I was a part-time Christian headed toward early retirement. And I was so desperate for recognition that I hadn't even met the requirements. You see, even with this gift God's given me to spit these words lyrically with the purpose of ministry, the enemy is still real in me. For it is out of the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaks. And the shame of my sin had me so bound within that I subconsciously took a vow of silence and swore for the sake of Christ I'd never speak again. Because no sound is more deafening than the silence of sin. But God said He'd never leave me nor forsake me. But His presence I couldn't feel. And peace is so hard to keep when it just won't be still. Trapped in the secrecies of a pleasure-driven life, I wrap myself in a facade laced with the false security of my own pride while trying to conceal the chaotic remnants of a painful past filled with low self-esteem and generational idiosyncrasies once unbeknownst to me would now rear their repulsive heads in the form of impulsive promiscuity, lending me an infected and defective identity that ultimately corrupted me. I was dying internally. Chronic anxiety stemming from familiar failures bombarding my attempt at the slightest chance of hope. So much so that my life was literally left hanging in the balance of God's grace and my mistakes. So see, I don't really have time for the glitz and glitter or the pomp and circumstance. I needed the warm and tender touch of the Master's hands to repair the shattered pieces of this broken man. The spirit is willing, yes, but the flesh is weak. So weak that it brings me to a place where fear begins to take shape. Back into rebellion I race, no longer seeking your face, thus falling into this place where even your grace no longer seems sufficient. My God, so mighty and omniscient, if only for a few moments you could bear to listen to a sinner's plea, desperate for your heart and hungry for forgiveness. Please break these chains of my spirit's imprisonment. Drenched in the stench of selfish ambitions and malicious intentions, so bound up in social images that the purest of deeds begin to lack significance. Making sin-stained scribbles of your divine penmanship. How I wish things were different. I wish I could see the person of purpose you've purposed me to be. And honestly, I don't know of anything more terrifying than you wanting to use a man like me. But fear, it's just an illusion, right? I mean, it has to be. Yet it feels so real, ruling over me masterfully while masquerading my true master who said that afraid of fear I wouldn't have to be because he claimed the victory on Calvary and told me, you're my son, so you take after me. Because when I defeated fear, so did you. So don't listen to the meaningless, mindless blasphemies of the enemy wasting energy on something I already died for. So I took his advice. I mean, it only made sense that he being the Christ, the one who gave purpose to purposed me to have life. And not only life, but life more abundantly. That's enough times enough. You see, that's the kind of love that he has for me. I was lost when he found me, and he didn't even charge a finder's fee. So instead of becoming another tragic catastrophe, I dug into my Heavenly Father's wallet of divinity and grabbed the master's card and went on a living spree and charged it to the life that he gave for me. Because my visa couldn't discover an American who could express the way I felt when Jesus came down through the mud and met me where I was just so I could feel his love and know that no matter what confronted me, I was covered by his blood. So now I wear my faith proudly and I don't hide it away in my pocket. Because I got hooked on the chase of the capital one, so tell me, what's in your wallet? You see, with every crack of the whip, with every piece of flesh from his body that was stripped, still in his mind he was convinced that though we are not perfect, to him we were worth it. So when you find yourself at your lowest point, where you feel you don't deserve this world's greatest sorrow, my advice to you is this: return to your place of reckoning, pick up your cross, and follow.